What's going on, family? We're here to talk about 5 myths that need to be debunked. Very necessary. There's so many people in the world who are just giving information out. A lot of times people are listening to their neighbor or their mailman or their uncle who never trained dogs professionally in their life. So I want to debunk some myths that definitely need to be debunked as soon as possible. Number 1, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. This is the biggest lie I've ever heard, okay? Yes, older dogs sometimes take a little more repetition because they've already established habits and they've already been kind of set in their ways. But once you are managing their behavior with obedience and socialization and behavior management, the dog is gonna see that the old way is out and the new way is in, because you're gonna be reinforcing and rewarding all of the things that you like from the dog versus you just letting them get away with the old stuff. Now, you're also going to be blocking behaviors, right? And you're going to not let them get away with certain stuff, and they're going to see that that's not desired. So by being black and white, letting them know what you like and what you don't like will change any dog. And the reality is, once you shut down those old doors, they're no longer open. So it comes down to you, the pack leader, the handler, to really make sure that you're setting the tone for your dog. And this is how you'll get a trained dog no matter how old the dog is. Number 2, treats are for bribery. Now that's the furthest from the truth. Guys, you have to understand that dogs need incentive to train if you want them to have fun and enjoy it, right? Dog training shouldn't be something that only you enjoy and the dog doesn't like. You'll get more expression, more enthusiasm, more higher expectations when you leverage praise, food, and toys. So we want to go with what the dog likes, because not all dogs love food. Not all dogs will even eat when they're nervous. So sometimes praise is all you have. And some dogs can care less about food and just want to chase the toy. So the key is figuring out what motivation your dog likes and leveraging that, because what ends up happening is you get stuck in one-track minded way of thinking, then you're not going to get the most out of that dog, okay? The dog might do it, but they're not going to do it with the right amount of confidence or the right amount of expression. Again, I like to have a happy dog. I want my dog to look like he's enjoying my presence and my company. Leverage the food. You could even use the dog's food for its meals, make him work for the food, and now you'll establish more value for your food. Number 3 is you need to be an alpha. Alpha, okay? It's not about being an alpha, it's about being a fair, firm pack leader, okay? You also want to add some fun in there too. So when you're a clear leader, you don't need to be dominant, you don't need to be a dictator. You need to teach clarity, you need to go through the repetitions, and you need to proof the behavior with distractions, and then have realistic expectations based on how much you've trained. Too many people think they can just bully their dog into obedience, and the minute you're not around, the dog's not going to be used to that bully, and it's going to take advantage of everybody else. Or your dog's going to listen for that quick moment, but then check out and go do its thing. The key is to make sure that you're training in the same kind of environment that you're living in, to make sure that your dog is used to doing behaviors with your lifestyle around it. So if you go out to the farmer's market, you need to go train at the farmer's market. If you want to take your dog to drink a coffee or a tea, you need to get your dog used to going out and doing training at Starbucks. So you need to make sure that you're doing your part to make sure that you're training your dog for the real world. And it doesn't take being an alpha, it takes being consistent. Now, when you make corrections, corrections are part of obedience, right? But that doesn't mean you're being the alpha. All you're doing is saying, no, this is not right, block that behavior, reward the good behavior, and that will be encouraged. But it's up to us to be the behavior managers so our dogs are clear about what they're supposed to do. Another big myth is correction is cruel. Guys, I'm a dad, okay? If my kids don't do something, I'm taking something away, or I'm issuing some kind of consequence. Dogs are no different, okay? You have to manage the behavior the way they're supposed to be. If you're letting them get away with all the nonsense, they're gonna do that in public, they're gonna get away with it, they're gonna embarrass you, and they're gonna really show how they respect you, okay? As a parent and a guardian, I'm here to shape my children, and I'm definitely gonna shape my dog. I know some people, they can imagine the dog ever getting corrected, but they kind of need to wake up and smell the coffee, because when you're dealing with dogs of the caliber that I'm used to dealing with, when it comes to these dogs that are being aggressive and getting euthanized because of their output, we need to sometimes establish a little correction and really make sure that we have that dog under control. Corrections are just part of the game. Now, do I lead with corrections? Absolutely not. I go through a learning phase where I show the dog, show the dog, show the dog, show the dog, show the dog for weeks. Then I'll incorporate distractions. When the dog falls for the distraction, I make a slight correction. The dog corrects itself, figures out what it takes to get paid, and gets rewarded. Now the dog will avoid being distracted. Now the dog will also understand what a correction is and that corrections are undesired. You want to make sure that the dog is clear that this is no and this is yes. We want to be able to give our dogs a good life, but if they're too wild and crazy, too impulsive, then that just snowballs into more problems that eventually will make it to where it's hard for you to take your dog outside. And that's not the type of life we want to have. We want a dog we can take anywhere, but the dog has to have some boundaries, and corrections help boundaries. Another big myth is that dogs will grow out of behavior. No, they won't. It will just continue to get worse. I know some people want to neuter their dogs or just wait it out. You need to address the behavior right away, okay? Dog is obviously doing it because it's getting satisfaction. So if the dog is continuing to get satisfaction, it's going to continue to do it. That's just the way it happens, okay? Certain dogs do get older, and because they are getting some training, kind of as some structure, they might tame whatever they're doing down. But if you want to fix something, address it very specifically and train for it. Train in those situations and go through those scenarios over and over and over until you have a dog that doesn't do whatever it is that you don't want them to do anymore. You need to make sure that you put it to the test, because when a dog is stimulated or the dog is motivated to do something, they might just go ahead and go with it. You want to teach them that they have to follow the protocol, the program, your system, and create less of a liability, less of a headache, less of a nuisance. Another one I hear is that if I train my dog, I'm going to make him into a robot with no personality. That sounds crazy, okay? Just giving your dog some structure and some discipline is not going to turn him into a robot, okay? Now, a lot of times that's an excuse for people who are too lazy or emotionally tied down to not being able to wrap their mind around the concept of giving their dog some structure. Dogs will not break if you train them. All my dogs are happy. All my dogs are expressive. All my dogs can be dogs when they're not in obedience. They're only asked of obedience a couple minutes a day at most, right? So I want to be able to have obedient dog when I give them commands, and the rest of the time, the dog's just hanging out. So you won't have a robot dog, but you do need to put in some work to make sure that you have a well-balanced dog that's not a liability, that's an asset to the family, that's not a nuisance, that's not going to get anybody else hurt, that's not going to get you sued, that's not going to run away and have some vet bill because he got hit by a car. All of these things happen, guys. I know sometimes we only think about the good part of having a dog, but there's the dark side of it too, right? And a lot of times by not training dogs, we're going to end up in shelters. They're going to do something stupid. So all I'm trying to do is save the dogs and get that euthanization rate down. And that comes from making sure you guys know that training is part of life, guys. So if you guys want to take your training to another level, I have various ways to train, guys. So I have a bunch of links below in the description. If you guys want to check out Cali K9, I've been training dogs for a very long time, 15 years. You guys check out my Netflix show. Check out all the people that we've trained over the years. And guys, you can do it. You can have the dog of your dreams if you just put in the work. 15 minutes a day through the Cali K9 5-pillar system. Guys, if this was a valuable video, please like and subscribe to this channel. We got a lot more heat coming, guys, so look out for it. Please share it and tell more people about the channel. And if you guys haven't watched K9 Intervention on Netflix, go and check that out. So we'll see you guys when you see you on the next one. Peace.